What are we going to talk about today? Let's do Elrond versus Solana. Now, how do you put two giants against each other that you both love? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to try to do today. Disclaimer, I'm holding both Elrond and Solana. I'm going to try to make a honest comparison at these two super blockchains side by side. Both of them are considered as the dark horses of the smart contract platforms, but to me and most of us probably it's no longer the case. The compatibility of both these chains will make sure that even when ETH 2.0 comes out, there will be enough meat on the bones for both these chains. Elrond has some unique features and so does Solana. However, if you like me and you like to watch sports, then you know that you cannot be good at everything, can you? The one is good striker and the other one is a good defender. And we need midfielders as well. Now, sometimes you can have a good forehand, but a crappy backhand. That's my problem. Anyways, you get the point. The big question is, can't we all just be friends and live with each other in harmony? Which is also not a bad chain actually. Exciting things happening over there as well, with the healthy growth. It's so confusing and it's so hard to be a crypto adopter at the moment. Life is hard. But this video is about Elrond and Solana and we want to compare these chains side by side. Now, you have to realize that if crypto really becomes mainstream, we might actually need each other more than you think. Because the transaction throughput would be insane if the world had to go on the blockchain. And if cross-chain wraps are only pennies of a cent instead of $100, then why not have a multi-chain metaverse? It would only be good for us as yield hunters as we might have more options. But before we get there, the user experience needs to be so good that a baby boomer can do it without its child help. So, it's Europe Elrond versus USA Solana. Born in the USA. Okay, right. Anyways, if you do like my content, then please don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss out on this valuable content. So, let's start with our first point, and that is of course one of the most important issues, and that is user experience. Elrond is probably the king when it comes to user experience and compatibilities. And in one of my latest videos, I spoke about the Maya exchange and how seamless everything works. See the video in the description above. Everything around Elrond is built with a good user experience in mind, and they worry about the interface and the compatibility of its total product suite. So, it's so easy to work on Elrond. You just follow the steps and you get started. Elrond is the first smart contract platform that eliminated those long addresses and changed them into a hero tag. The Elrond team is using your phone number to get you started with your wallet. Some are happy with this and some say, not for me. Now, I personally believe this will have some advantages in the future, but that's just a guess anyways. For now, it feels good and I'm fine with it. We're so used to this anyways, as we use this with our Google verification or Facebook, so why not in crypto, as long as they cannot access your funds, right? Now, the Maya wallet, don't worry, it is a non-custodial wallet, so they cannot access your funds just like that. Your keys, your money. Now, take for example staking, and we all know what that is, I hope. You just need a Maya wallet and everything else can be done in just one single app. Who can say that? You can buy EGLD, stake it, and start earning those juicy yields right away. Passive 13% on top of your ever increasing EGLD is a good deal. So all this can be done with just one wallet that is non-custodial with a fantastic user interface and experience. So, if it comes to user experience, and with that I mean everything from Block Explorer to the additional information about its growth, everything that's there and it's just looking fantastic. The way everything is branded by Elrond is into a different league to any other chain. Elrond has built the foundation for us and actually makes money for us, for example through the Maya exchange with those juicy max tokens that you get at absolutely no cost. If you bought Elrond a year ago, not only would your EGLDs be worth a lot more, but you would also earn some nice yields through the Maya exchange with these free max tokens. However, that brings me to my second point, and this one has to go to Solana. The Solana price action is not a complete surprise if you start looking into the rearview mirror. It has seen an incredible amount of growth, and that's because its speed is so fast. It has innovated in such a way that transactions can be done with in less than half a second and a fraction of a cent. Now, it's not a surprise that a person like Sam Bankman-Fried and even Brendan Eich opted to use this innovative technology for Sam for his exchange, the FTX, and Brendan for his Brave project. These guys know their crypto far better than me. The transaction growth on the Solana chain and the network effect together with the ecosystem growth is well ahead of that of Elrond. It's actually mind-blowing what they've achieved in a year. Elrond still has to get started. They have some development, but they're not quite there yet. The fact that Brave makes Solana its default chain could lead billions of users creeping into the ecosystem of Solana. See the video in the description above. And the important word here is default blockchain. The Solana Foundation has a lot of money. It's one of the richest chains out there. And we all know money makes money. Branding, marketing. Solana is booming like no other chain on this point. And Solana is using its money very cleverly to brand itself. It holds conferences, party, and it really brands itself as the new Ethereum 3.0. However, all this is very good innovation comes with a hefty price tag, and that brings me to my other point, and that is scalability. Solana uses the Moore's law in terms of scalability. Its validators don't run nodes on their gaming laptop like most of them do, and there's less of them. You really need to have a heavy spec computer in order to run a node on Solana. So if Solana wants to scale, it needs the hardware to actually do it. And these costs might only be more expensive at that time. Now, this is not a problem when you're an early adopter of Solana, as one sol cost you only $2 a year ago. That's more than 100x a year. Yikes! I wish I got in that early. Anyways, no need to cry about spilled milk. All gains are still healthy. Elrond does this slightly different, and it looks more similar to the way ETH 2.0 is planning to do it. The way Elrond has done it is through sharding, and this naturally leads to a little bit more of a decentralized environment, as it has 3,200 nodes. I doubt if ETH 2.0 will actually be better than the Elrond at this moment. This makes me bold enough to say that ETH 2.0 is actually already here and its name is Elrond. It just needs the developers' growth and the ecosystem growth. And of course that's very important. So if decentralization is more important to you, then Elrond is probably a better off in the long run, as it has a better way of scaling in this regard than Solana. However, Solana is way better in speed and transaction finality. Don't get me wrong, Elrond is far from slow. Anybody that worked with EGLD knows that it works just fine, and you might have to wait a few seconds for your transaction to go through, but hey, we have enough seconds on a day, right? Elrond also had 0 downtime. The same cannot be said about Solana, that recently crashed when the transactions on the chain melted the network. So this one is a tough one to call because both chains have their benefits. Elrond has a better hardware properties and each shard can do 5,400 transactions. Solana is blazing fast, and with a super fast transaction finality, it's just insanely fast basically. In part 2, I'm going to discuss the tokenomics and visions of both teams. So make sure you smash that subscribe button and leave me a comment in the section below. Do you hold Elrond or Solana, or even both? Who do you think is better? Should we even use that term? Better anyways. I thank you for watching, and